3BL's big roster.
To get going, right? You need that farm. If we're looking on the opposite end, if we're looking at from 3BL side, where Yash is going to be picking up the Kaiser, someone a little bit more tanky, definitely not as flashy though, but I think it's going to be an interesting matchup to watch.
Yeah, the interesting thing I think here with this Kaiser that I'm going to be looking out for personally is because yesterday when we saw Influence Rage play the Kaiser, they were always 2 levels ahead of the enemy jungle. So that rotation, the ferocity, being able to claim the resources was huge.
Yeah, very huge, very different. And I mean, if we're looking at some of the other, the regionals that you saw, most of the games just went to a quick 2-0, right? Not to say that the games are very quick, but we didn't really see that third game. And I think when teams get to that level where they're really contested and you have that game 3 again, where again, everything is on the line, it makes for the most interesting and plus the most amount of pressure for each of these teams. I'm expecting to see at least 1 or 2 of those at least today.
Oh, absolutely. I really hope so, because that's when you get the sweaty palms and the sweaty attitudes, right? But Kinesis going in here.
Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of just, I mean, he's going to lift step away. He's going to be fine. But, I mean, the boars are the most important thing at this point. 3BL, if anything, they've been very aggressive. They've been trying to invade the enemy jungle, make Major Pride play a little bit differently, but First Blood is going to be given up in the top lane.
Yeah, hopefully we get a little bit of a replay for that, but Shizuki getting some fame onto the Gorge, right? Major Pride, again, for those new tuning in at home, we're a team that went through Season 1 Invitational, not picking up a single round. Being able to get kills was probably their biggest achievement.
Oh, it looks like there's going to be smited here, but the Mirror Domain, that's going to be started, and they get Jotrex once again. Oh, it does go down, and it looks like they've gotten 2 right there.
Yes, absolutely. That was like chef's kiss, right? We honestly thought that Yapo was going to be able to get out of there, but hey, that Mirror Domain just does absolutely amazing amounts of damage, right? And this is the thing I came here for, right? Here's the replay for Shizuki getting that kill, being able to get that range attack onto the Byron. That's the only weakness of Byron, right? Once you've exhausted that leap and knock up, you've got nothing else in utility to actually try and get out of there or try and make another counter engage.
Yeah, you need to figure something out right now. You're behind in terms of net worth, about 1K. 3 kills have gone all the way in favor of Major Pride. They've kind of, again, they've been very good, right, in terms of just reacting to what 3BL have thrown at them. They're in a pretty decent spot. I mean, look at, he's going right in. Mirror Domain, right off the bat, they're just going to do a lot of damage with the Reflective Assault as well. And Yash is up in front. Kaiser's there, but he's actually not going to commit for this. They're on the run now. They're turning this around, and they go for but looks like that's going to back.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great deterrent right there, Hola. We saw that the Unbridled Rage come through, really just pushing away 3BL, because if that wasn't the case and that didn't happen, I think that without that deterrent there, it could have been a no-holds-barred for 3BL.
Oof. The Rolling Rage is doing some decent amount of work. Kinesis is going to have to recall back to safety. But if we're looking in this mid lane, 3BL, it's all about objectives. And I like the fact that, yeah, they're losing, but they're putting the pressure on them and forcing MP to kind of react to what they're doing. But again, they haven't really been able to capitalize with any kills thus far.
Yeah, another thing worth pointing out as well is that both the mages have been down into the farm lane, because this allows both these late game heroes, the Arlie and the Lady Sun, to have access to those both side camps, right? So they can try and get online a little bit quicker. So you can see why that rotation's taking place.
Yeah, they're trying to rotate, but she goes in, gets the power grenation, and Ahmed, oh, he does get burned in the end. He's going to be down for about 15 more seconds.
Yeah, unfortunate there, because, hey, the neutral objectives are now up, Paula. So, again, this is going to be a crucial part for them. They may want to try and pin down the Kaiser.
Yeah, it looks like Kashi does end up getting the blue right there. Does get the steal with that smite. Zhangfei's, even if you're Roman, it's okay to take the smites, and Kin is a big proponent of that. And it looks like they're going to do this as well in this game as well.
Yeah, he likes to know that his smite is there. If it's not smite, it's execute for Kim, right? He's definitely an aggressive support player. But to be honest, Kashi Bartir is playing a lot like Billy did from one of the players of the American regions.
Yeah. Oh, the unending sorrow. Okay, the tower goes down. Viper will stay alive, but MP got what they want. It looks like they're going to make their rotation into the mid lane, force that one out. The teleport is coming in by Jotrex into the mid lane. But again, MP is going to back off here.
Yeah, so far, so good for the side of Major Pride, right? They're up with the gold. They're up with the turrets, right? Yes, they lose the mid 1 T1, but they can really try and do something here. It's not the end of the game, considering where the rest of the else of their resources and the accolades so far in game 1 are. It's not the biggest threat, right?
Not the biggest threat. You're right, right. But I mean, with the Tyrant or the Overlord that would be picked up by 3BL, the Vanguards are going to be pushing, creating a little bit more space for MP to kind of deal with. I mean, 3BL, all they want is to take their own enemy jungle, or their own jungle. They're not able to get that. The Umbrella Outburst, they're pushing everybody back. And 3BL, they've rotated, but again, they haven't capitalized on gotten any sort of conversions out of this.
Blue team has
Yeah, nice
destroyed
plays
a
here
tower.
by the side of Major Pride. They're being very aggressive into the enemy jungle, able to take that T1 up into the clash lane. So again, this is the thing I love about Honor of Kings, right? Being so fresh in the scene, seeing these teams just progress. And Major Pride, I do be proud. I got a tear in my eye.
Oh, are you sure it's not just, you know, something that flew in, or is it actually their play? Is it the success? I mean, but nonetheless, if we're looking at MP right here, they're just kind of forcing it out. All 5 members of 3BL are here. Miro Domain's going to be committed. And they're doing quite a bit of work, and they're trying to keep that mid T1 alive, but the Ocean of Tears is successful, but they haven't got any kills thus far. They're going to back off. And again, that was a huge fight, but nobody died.
That's very rare that we see that, right, Hauler, that you get a huge just brawl in the mid lane, nobody dies, but then just go away feeling still like energetic from it. It's like, oh my gosh, like these guys are doing enough to stay alive in these big brawls.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Marvel movie, like the big fights are happening, but nobody's really dying at the end. I mean, people are limping away, if anything.
Yeah, unfortunately. We want to see death. We want to see blood, right, in those brawls. But so far, nothing yet to be shed. Major Pride still ahead with the gold.
Yes, still up ahead. But 3BL, again, they've mitigated. Or the biggest thing is the Crimson Golem. They might lose it again. I think they did. Or they did not get it. Again, 3BL. And MP right now just really just forcing the issue, invading the enemy jungle, making it uncomfortable. Not even, 3BL is not even able to get their own buffs.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, that's starving them from every bit of resource, right? This Kaiser pick has not been the greatest yet. I'm still waiting for a big engage from Yafor.
Yeah, hasn't really seen that. I mean, we haven't really seen the Invincible Warrior. I think he's just holding it down. But nice Unbridled Outburst. He goes right in for this one, and he ends up killing it. He kills Yash, and that's a huge one to start with. And the Miro Domain and Jotrex is now on the run. They're diving the tower. They don't care. Okay, they do care, and they back off here.
Hey, at least to get some blood, right?
Yeah, a little bit of blood, the flash away, and he does end up getting Aspire on that one, and they've gotten the bottom T2, and again, MP right now, everything is going their way.
Oh, still some more engages coming in here.
Yeah, they want to keep going for this one. They're just forcing it out. I thought the fight was over, but it looks like they're just going to back off now. They've gotten the mid T2 as well. 3BL not able to just kind of defend. They're just trying to deal with the minions and just trying to slow the game down, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the aim for 3BL right now, right? They have only one T2 left standing up in the clash lane. That's just because Shizuki has been across the gorge, right? Just helping out his team. And it really shows when Shizuki's into these team fights, because we finally get some blood. And speaking of getting blood, we get a little bit more of that neutral objective blood right now. And it's not quite the shadow alternatives of these neutral objectives, but hey, increased damage is increased damage at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Major Pride right now are doing such a good job of just attacking on all fronts, taking all the objectives. I mean, just making it very difficult for 3BL to find any sort of farm. Look at this, Yusuke. He's going 1 versus 2. He doesn't care. He knows he's the strong one. And Yash down again for the count. He has not had a great game.
No, absolutely not. He's definitely suffering here on the Kaiser. It's not quite working out the way that the 3BL as well was hoping, right? Because if the Kaiser falls, you have no front line. You're kind of really relying that Jotrex is just going to take it all, but he can't as the Byron.
Yeah, and Jotrex, speaking of which, he's going to use a force field suppression just to go to his own demise. He's going to be killed, but they get Kinesis. That's a pretty big win for them. That's going to be 1 for 3 and 1 for 2 on that fight as Yash respawns at this point, but they've lost the top T3, and this is a huge one for 3BL.
Yes, Major Pride able to finally take up that higher ground turret. You can kind of see with that gold graph on the screen there, guys, watching at home, that it is a telling tale, right? It was a little bit shaky within that mid part of the game. We saw that 3BL was trying to actually get some of their resources, but now we're seeing a different story. Major Pride just been able to just capitalize on taking all their own and their enemies' camps.
Yeah, and can't get anything. The Unbridled Outburst pushing them away. They 3BL wanted to fight for that one, but again, the Unbridled Outbursts have been great in terms of control, and they've pushed everybody back. If they want to go for the Overlord, it's pretty much fair game, but you know, this is a 9-1 game, 7K net worth lead for MP, and again, a very difficult situation for 3BL to come back in this one.
It's a bit of a play, right? MP are just like, hey, we don't need the Overlord. We're actually doing pretty well in the lanes right on our own. We don't need Vanguard's crutches.
Yeah, we're just going to go and kill you. Joe Trex is already down for the count. The Invisible Warrior, he gets Ocean of Tears. He gets slowed down, and Shusuke gets a little bit low. Does need to be careful, but he limps away. No, he goes down. So they've gotten something, but they do end up getting Aspire in return, and they're turning this. They've gotten Ahmed as well, and that's 3 thus far, but can they get more? Yash is trying to run. He's trying to get to safety. No, he's going to get sniped out. Alim gets the double, and now they're trying to just force the face. They don't have the minions, and Alim just founding dives at this point.
Blue team
Yeah, a little bit premature there. They thought they had the minions at the crystal, but unfortunately